want to remind everybody to sign up for cell phones. Do I hear a motion to approve the previous minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second. Okay, public comment, if it's all right, I'm gonna let Aaron come up and speak real quick, because he wants to go to Richland. This is Aaron McLaughlin. You can introduce yourself.
I'm Aaron McLaughlin. I've created the Clinch River Kayak Club, and we've raised a bunch of money to build a launch in Critterville, and I want to help Cedar Bluff do the same. So I'd like to present a check, a little fundraiser we had. It's for $365. It's not a lot, but it's a start.
That's awesome.
And I don't know which way you want to go with the launch, like the steps or the gravel.
Well, we've got all the gravels done now.
Okay.
So we got the
That'll help
gravels
with
done.
the launch.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll get with y'all too. We don't care for ideas.
And I'm going to do more fundraisers, and I'd like to split it up between y'all and some other folks to get other launches built too, just so we have access points to get on the river.
We really appreciate that. It will be a help. You get one. Let's see. Any of y'all have a camera or have your phone?
Karen does.
Okay. If we could present that to
Is
you.
that all right?
Yeah, absolutely. You may get some dogs there.
But Aaron does a lot. I mean, we started here on a Tuesday one night, and by Sunday we had 102 people launch at the same time, which is a pretty big deal.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One more.
I noticed you went with the wide lens.
Aaron was a big help, Linda. when we had-
Sir?
I was telling Linda, who helped sponsor, that you were a big help when we had our float last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when will y'all start those again?
I'm
Well, I think
doing,
you've already started.
well, I'm that guy. There's a fundraiser unassociated with us in Homeacre for the what is it, the Red Bud Festival. That's next month. Then after that, when it warms up, we'll start doing fundraisers and floats, and everybody's welcome to come. It's all ages, and it's pretty easy. It's not a difficult float.
If you don't have kayaks, they rent.
Yeah.
So it's all ages. I mean,
I've seen them from 8 to 80 and everywhere in between, and it's a good time. It's relaxing.
your dad does it all the time.
Yeah.
We was all taking off that river, and we looked, and here comes Jim flying down there. He got excited. I got me one too. It's a lot of fun. You wouldn't believe you get out the area, you're like, man, how did I go from York Lindsay's and now I'm at the Wreck Park?
Beautiful scene.
And then in 2 minutes, you're back at York Lindsay's. It's just how the water just curves and curves and curves. Pretty awesome.
And we want to try to do floats from Tazewell on down to maybe Cedar Bluff, or from Pound Mill down to Cedar Bluff, if we can get access points up that way too. That's some of the other people that we're trying to get with.
I might have mentioned to you that there's a couple ladies that I've run into that take their kayaks out in their picnic area up by the dam.
Mm-hmm.
They, when water levels permit, they put in up around Pisgah several times a year and float down to Cedar Bluff.
I've met them on the river actually. Yeah.
They do that, so.
And we're possibly going to allow people to get out of our property in Pound Mill as well.
Okay.
We've got a nice little park area made up.
Yeah, and Danny, he fixes hot dogs on those days.
One thing I got to say, you missed a good weekend.
Yeah, he wanted to know if anybody wanted to kayak down there and knock some of them trees down.
He calls his back dad a dog.
We probably will have a river cleanup day though, once it gets warmed up, and try to get some of the debris out and trash. I don't know the regulations with the mussels, because I don't know, certain things we can't remove, certain things we can.
Upper Tennessee River Roundtable would be a big asset
Mhm.
helping with that, so if you don't have contact them, let me know, they maybe could be help, and because they've done cleanups here.
Yeah, I think Rick Barton's reached out to them already, yeah. And there's another group called the River Sweepers. They are down in St. Paul right now. Well, they have been back in the fall trying to clean the river up, and they work sections of it, trying to get cars and things out of the river that are.
Awesome.
But thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night. You're welcome.
See you, bud. Linda,
Okay. I have something that I'd like to read to you tonight. It's we're very excited about this event that's going to be taking place in the town of Cedar Bluff. History's on the move as the World War I and World War II Profiles of Honor Tour travels to Cedar Bluff, Virginia. The Virginia World War I and II Profiles of Honor Tour will be in Cedar Bluff on September the 14th and also September the 15th, where it will be located in front of Richlands High School. The mobile museum, which is free and open to the public, features stories and artifacts from dozens of Virginians who served in these wars, as well as a full-size model of an M5A1 Stuart tank. The tour, which brings life in Virginia as our role that we played in world history, is part of a statewide commemoration marking the 100th anniversary of World War I and the 75th anniversary of World War II. The Profiles of Honor Tour visit is part of the Cedar Bluff Heritage Festival, and it's going to be sponsored by Cedar Bluff Business and Professional Association. It's modeled on the highly successful Virginia Civil War. They had a model for that also, and it's the same thing as this that travels around throughout the state. But it's going to document. It has document scanning equipment. So it's supported by the Library of Virginia to each site it visits, and visitors are going to be invited to bring the World War I and the World War II related images, letters, documents to be scanned, preserved, and made publicly accessible in the Library of Virginia's archives. So the Profiles of Honor Tour will travel throughout Virginia and beyond, and we are just so excited to have this here in Cedar Bluff during our Heritage Festival. It's managed in partnership with the Virginia Tourism Corporation, also the Virginia Department of Motor Vehicles. So Jim McLaughlin, Jim Boyd, Sharon, and Mark met with a delegation that came from Richmond to look at our site, because they just don't say, yeah, we'll come. They have to actually come and look at the site. And Jim, we appreciate you all doing that day. And they took them down to the high school, showed them the area there, and then we got a letter back saying that we were accepted to do this. And we are just so excited about having this here. And I talked to the principal at the high school, and she is excited also. We're going to get the kids involved. They suggested the 7th and 11th graders because they're going to be doing SOLs, and this is going to be good for that. And they're going to be located also inside of the high school there in the lobby, so that people in the community can bring these papers and artifacts and things in to be sent off to Richmond. So,
I think they'll be doing the scanning on the Friday.
yes,
I believe.
they will. But aren't they also going to do some on Saturday,
I'm
don't
not
you
sure.
think?
I know they are
We
Friday.
got to look into it a little bit more and kind of see. But anyway, they're coming in here on Thursday night and setting up the next day. And we're just, we're excited to have this in our community, because just not every community can have something like this. So I want to let you all know about this first. And we will be getting the word out to the papers and to the public here very soon.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more public comment?
Mr. Mayor, I have some handouts here. If you keep one, so we pass the other four that way. And then these four would go the other way. In December, there was lengthy discussion of the sales tax overpayment to the towns within the Tazewell County. However, no facts and documentation were presented. The documents I've given you were obtained by way of the Freedom of Information Act request to Tazewell County. The packet I've given you contains 4 documents. The first document is a letter and support documentation from the county to the town of Cedar Bluff, that shows the amounts of missed payment that the county received, that I believe that the towns received during 2006, 2007, and 2008. During this 3-year period, this document shows that Cedar Bluff was overpaid $640,000, Pocahontas was underpaid by $8,000, Bluefield was overpaid $61,000, Richlands was overpaid $164,000, and Tazewell was overpaid $307,000. This county document shows that Cedar Bluff was overpaid much, much more than any other town in the county during this 3-year period. The second document provides support documentation showing that during the entire 5-year period of the missed payments from 2004 to 2009, Cedar Bluff was overpaid approximately $970,000. The third document, the repayment agreement, shows that even though the county was in a position that Cedar Bluff had been overpaid for 5 years and totaling nearly $1 million, the repayment agreed to was for the amount of $150,000 and was for only 9 months of the 5-year period. The fourth document is a letter from the town to the county requesting an $88,000 credit of sales tax proceeds. Based upon these documents, I formed the following opinions. During the 5-year period of 2004 to 2009, Cedar Bluff was overpaid nearly $1 million, of which they repaid $150,000. The overpayment was much greater than any other town received, even though Cedar Bluff has 1/5 the population of some of these towns. If you subtract the $150,000 repayment and the $88,000 credit requested by the town, Cedar Bluff still received approximately $730,000 in overpayments that it was not required to repay. Of the $1 million that Cedar Bluff had accumulated by 2005, approximately $350,000 of that was the result of these overpayments. After already having $1 million in the bank in 2005, Cedar Bluff received an additional $640,000 in overpayments from the county from the years 2006 through 2008. Lastly, I just don't see how anyone can be of the opinion that this sales tax issue was detrimental to this town, or that the town repaid the county more than it received in overpayments based upon the true number of school-aged children within the boundaries of Cedar Bluff. To be of that opinion, I would say it would be based, especially after looking at these documents, would be based in fantasy and not fact. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Any more public comment? And we don't have Crossroads engineer.
And nothing to report on the VDH grant project.
Okay, town manager's report.
There's a thank you letter in your packet from SBCC Festival of the Arts, so you might look over that. I also included a copy of the legal ad that was run to sell the 1996 Ford truck. And by the way, we ran that in the Bluefield and Bristol papers, and I've received inquiries from the Bristol area and West Virginia area that actually saw those two ads. And we're getting a lot of local interest from where we just parked the truck and put a sign on it. So we have gotten numerous inquiries. Terry could maybe give you more information. So hopefully we'll get some good sealed bids on that. Also let you know that we are in the middle of our audit process. The two firms working on our audit, the first firm is nearing completion of their report, and then they'll go to the auditors. The second firm will be completing their audit within the next month or so. That's it.
Okay, the next, the payment of bills. Any questions?
I was going to mention a few of them. That 25419 was for replacing brakes on the dump truck. 25422 was pump tests on town fire trucks. 25440 was almost entirely the PD Christmas gift program, and of course that was funded with grant funds. 25443 was police radar certification training. Let's see, on down 25461, that is our a payment on our tank maintenance contract.
Any questions? Do I hear a motion, payment of the bill?
I'll make a motion to pay.
Second.
Aye.
Okay, town, department reports, you got anything? Ken?
Police department responded to 35 calls, conducted 32 traffic stops, issued 13 summonses, and patrolled 3,186 miles.
Good job.
Fire department had 4 monthly meetings, responded to 1 call during the month. Started training the new members with on-the-road driving. This is in preparation for when they receive their EVOC certification. Promoted firefighter Billy Smith to training officer. And they had 5 members receive their CPR certification. Total hours of meeting 122, and hours responding to incidents was 5.
And Jerry, while you're on the fire department report, let me also mention that we did get carpet and new flooring installed in the training room and restroom adjacent to the fire department's training room. And that was paid for by funds raised by the fire department members themselves.
Good.
The utility department repaired 2 8-inch mainline leaks, one of which they replaced 14 feet of pipe. We replaced or followed several water meters, and looks like all the water meters are red, but they're 4 days late because of these mainline water leaks.
Okay, thank you. Next, unfinished business. Anything? New business? And no new, no used. No closed session. Do I hear a motion? To adjourn.
I make a motion, Mr.
Second.
I said,
All right, that's it. Thank you.
It's close. We had some extra